Yo, what up, friends? Welcome back to your favorite combat sports duo and your favorite UFC, our Ball and Buds UFC insider, right? Let me make sure we get that straight because people have been trying to come and steal them. People have been trying to deactivate Ball and Buds on Facebook. The
crazy.
man has been trying to come get us because they're trying to get you, Clubber D, to come to them, and we're not letting you leave unless it's ESPN. So, my friend, welcome. What do you have to say to the people?
First of all, the people out there, thank you. I love all the emails, all the gifts. I got flowers last week when we were in New Orleans. You know what I'm saying? Somebody sent those over. You know what I'm saying? There were some nice edibles. They were great edible arrangements. Sorry, I got you on that one. But it's great.
Get me.
Yeah, you thought a little woozy on Bourbon Street. Let's not.
Clubber D has brought back the meaning to the bricks. We ain't talking about you being in New Jersey with the outsiders no more.
That's
No.
You might see Reggie Noble behind me. Red Man might just bust through. You never know. You know what I'm saying? Pause it. That sounded wild.
Out to Red Man.
That's right.
Pause on that. And a shout out to the Wu-Tang Clan. You know we love you both, the Wu-Tang Clan. Also, again, welcome, Ball and Buds. We are here live for what used to be our UFC pre-shows because we go live before every UFC pay-per-view, but it's turned into more of a combat show because everyone kept emailing in and saying we wanted more of Clubber D's, not only UFC, but boxing and MMA analysis. So before we get started, I want to give my shout out. This is H and the crew at Let's Talk Sports. He is doing big things for the whole community. He is bringing all of us together. We're getting on each other's shows. It's an amazing time. That shout out. So shout out to DDH and the amazing work that he does. That being said, let's go ahead and kick this bad boy off.
Right, let's do this.
292, my friend. Tonight we have Aljamain Sterling, your champion in this match against the fan favorite, and apparently a Dana White favorite, since apparently you can just get a title fight whenever you want in bantamweight action. So, my friend, how do you feel about this fight? Give us your thoughts and your club banger.
Well, you said it. First of all, you said it best with the whole Dana White fan favorite. He was on a Contender Series. He is entertaining. I'm not going to lie. He does put on a show. He does knock out a lot of folks. Sugar Sean O'Malley, he's 28 years old. He's a lot taller, a little rangier fighter. You know what I'm saying? He's, 18-1? And his one loss was to Chito Vera. And he hurt his ankle in that fight, but, he got carted off. So he came back from that. He's had he has 11 KOs in his 18 fights, and he's been on a tear in the UFC. But there's that but right there. His last fight, his biggest opponent was Peter Yan, the ex-champion. I thought Peter Yan won that fight. It was the same card as Dillashaw and Aljamain Sterling. And it's funny, Aljamain's fought since then. O'Malley, I don't think he's fought since then. And that fight was like, 6, 7, 8 months ago. Aljo last fought on May 6th, the day after Cinco de Mayo. And they already had Sean O'Malley in the ring, like being in the cage, but like, hey, yo, you're going to fight this dude in August. And Aljo was like, whoa, Dana. Okay, so calm down, all right? What if I'm hurt? What if I'm injured? What if I want to take a vacation? Dana said, I don't care. We'll do an interim. So Dana don't rock with Aljamain.
It wasn't even organic either.
No, not even.
It was like, that was planned. Like Dana was like, if he went, you are up there immediately.
Yeah, it's that Kobe Covington treatment that, if you're part of the good old boy crew, you can just do whatever you want to do. And look at John Jones. He's done everything under the sun, and he's still got a job with the UFC. I'm not hating, just stating facts. If you don't like it, I don't care. But it is what it is. But Sean O'Malley, he's not bad though. It's not garbage. He's exciting. Dana likes knockouts. Dana likes brawls. Okay, he doesn't like these fighters that are I guess wrestling types. He's not really big onto them because he's had a couple like Khabib, but Khabib had a big following in the Middle East. So
that brings me to a great point though, Clubber D, which I apologize that I stopped you at Khabib.
Jump on in.
I don't. Hey, Khabib. I'm scared of Khabib. I'm scared interrupted on Khabib's name. O'Malley is the bigger fighter here. He also has the more striking success rate at almost 1.5% higher according to FanDuel. But Aljamain is obviously the better grappler with 0.80 submission attempts per 15 minutes. So as you were just mentioning, right, this is a striker versus grappler type of match. So what you would think is that, okay, most people are thinking, well, Sugar Sean is going to have to get some sort of KO, right?
Yeah.
But Aljamain Sterling's defense is pretty stellar. So what can we see in terms of that matchup?
Well, I mean, Aljamain fought Peter Yan twice, and the second fight was a split decision win after he won the belt. The first time he won, he was dominating the first 2 rounds, and Peter Yan's a killer. This man hit you, and make you rethink about what you ate the day before. You know what I'm saying? I saw him hit somebody one time, like I said this before, he knocked a race off someone's face. They were Hispanic and they turned Asian. I don't know how that happened, but
what?
This dude, he hit. No. Hey, it happened that way. I don't know how it happened. He knocked a race off someone's face, but Aljamain, his nickname is the human backpack. So he's going to want to get in, pause if necessary, get behind you, do a rear naked choke. He's very good submissions. He has 11 submissions out of his 23 wins. He only has 3 knockouts or TKOs. So he's not really a striker per se, but he can. He's a top high level wrestler. He's trained by Ray Longo and Matt Serra over there in Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I was going to go up there and hang out with them at the Jersey Shore, but they didn't want to let me in there. They had a weight limit. That's another story. But yeah, I mean, Aljamain, his championship reign has been, people kind of essing on it because he won the fight due to a legal knee, all right, against Peter Yan, and the knee was illegal, so shouldn't have done that. But my only problem was, don't take pictures on Twitter partying like you just shit was sweet, because 2 hours ago you was laid out in the cage acting like you got hit by Kimbo Slice, but you got the belt that way. Fought him the second time, split decision. He won fair and square, is what it is. He fights TJ Dillashaw, who was a reigning champ before he got taken away for steroids. Dillashaw was trying to fight Abu Dhabi, but his shoulder, it looked like a chicken wing. I mean, he got knocked out, stopped because of strikes, but his shoulder was done, so they had to basically stop it. And then he fought Triple C, the Olympic gold medalist, the 2-division UFC champion Henry Cejudo, who had retired and knocked off the king Demetrius Johnson. He beat him in a split decision his last fight. So me personally, he's only had 2 good title fights out of the 3, but those are some killers he beat. So he's already got his eyes set on 45.
Now he also beat and this is not former champions, but O'Malley himself, right? Or sorry, not O'Malley. Sterling, after that, he also beat Corey Sandhagen and also beat Pedro Munoz. So he's fought some good fighters. Yeah, I mean, his reign is being questioned because of the knee, and then the way that he reacted to that afterwards. But I think the Cejudo matchup I think he's had, what I'm trying to say is I think that he's had a better championship reign than most people have given him credit for. Although I do not think that necessarily solidifies this victory here against O'Malley. But as you said, O'Malley doesn't have a lot of fights against top contenders. So that's something because a lot of times inexperience hurts you in the ring, right?
Yeah, he fought Sandhagen Munoz. That was to get to his title shot. So he's won 9 out of his last 10. His last loss, I believe, was like 2017 to Marlon Moraes with a crucial knee shot. Like when he gave him a knee, he went to sleep. He was doing he was breakdancing in his dreams. He was sent to the shadow realm. But no, he's been on a tear. I mean, 9 out of your last 10. That's hard to do. So Aljamain's definitely on the top of his game right now, and he's 34 years old. 3-time champion, wins this before time, move up to 145, try to be a 2-division champ. So I'm all for it. I just hate the fact that Dana White has his favorites and kind of is like, okay, we're going to make this guy fight in 3 months or whatever, because he fought in the beginning of May and he's already fighting again. And it's August. Islam hasn't fought in over a year. And he told Aljamain, if you're hurt, we'll have interim. I have not seen that one interim belt for Islam's 155 belt. So let's keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's make it for everybody. You did that to John Jones. You did that. Volkanovski has fought since that fight. So if you're going to be like that for one person, be like that for everybody. That's just how I feel. All right, Dana? You and my ball brothers. I love you like a play cousin, but come on now. Let's keep it 100.
Keep it 100, Dana. Keep it 100.
Shout out to Conan.
All right. So, shout out to K-Dog, Conan, Disco, and bum-ass JoJo. JoJo, I know you're taking credit for my work. That 40% speaker impression upgrade, we ain't going to talk about who really did that. I'm not going to put it out there, but it's my show now. So now I can put stuff out because you've been shadow banning my emails trying to get Conan to think that my business don't do what we do. We do what we do. Conan, if you really want to double those subscribers, don't let me go through JoJo no more. He's been gatekeeping. Come to your boy and let me handle it. That being said.
Impromptu rants. Wow.
Impromptu. You got me fired. I didn't know where it came from. You got me fired up, but we've been trying to work together for a year and a half, and this dude anyways, you know what? That's for a podcast.
Yeah. We'll talk about that one. We'll have Omar's rant session pretty soon. We'll do that.
Omar, I'm about to have my own, I should do my own, kind of like Peter Griffin's grind my gears, call it something else. All right. That being said, we talked about the fight. What is your club banger, my friend? Round and way of.
You know, I've been right. You can be right and wrong at the same time, you know, and me being the after the fact king, there's a lot of times I'll say stuff and people will hit me up. Hey, who do you have for this fight? Who do you have? My reaction is always either I ignore you or I say tune in. So for all people that ask me leading up to this, if you tune in, you're going to hear this. If you not tuned in, your mother doesn't love you. But anyways, I'm going to go Aljamain Sterling, 4th round submission. He's going to win, and then he's going to go up to 145 and get humbled. But until then, 4th round submission. Boom, book it. Go on Facebook. I'm not going to name their names so they don't pay us. So go ahead.
Don't do that. No, we need a sponsorship first. Aljamain Sterling, 4th round submission. You heard it here from your boy Clubber D, the Combat G. That is his club banger for the fight. That being said, how does that submission go, my friend?
Hold on. It'll be a rear naked choke because the human backpack, that's his name. But first time ever. I know I always say after the fact king. But to counteract that, so I won't have to use that anymore, because one of your other suckers can steal my stuff. This is a Clubber caveat, the double C. The Clubber caveat will be a 2nd round knockout by O'Malley. Bam. Hedge your bet if you want to. Huh. Hey, you know, Clubber caveat. I got to, you know what I'm saying? I'm full of surprises. I random all the time. You know, you see the bricks in the background.
Oh, hold on. How long have you had that under wraps? I know you did that to make me pop.
About 2 minutes.
So we have our
balls on popping too. Wow.
Wowzers. We have your UFC Combat Sports Insider, Clubber D, the Combat G. He always gives his club bangers, which is his pick for every matchup. Mm-hmm. But he is also known as the After the Fact King, which means if he goes 0 for 4 that night, you're wrong. Your mother was right, and he actually went 4 for 4.
Yeah,
and he batted he grand slammed that ass, didn't he? Anyways, but now he has the Clubber's caveat, he is giving you, if it doesn't happen his first way, he's giving you a second way. He's giving you 2 options to bets, my friend. If you don't, what kind of, that's value. I don't know where you get more value than that.
Unlike others, okay, I people have a problem admitting when they're wrong, okay? And for me, being a person that's not ever wrong, it's never my fault, it's their fault. You didn't pick that, so you should have picked that. I'm giving you both options. Now there's a draw, then, you know, I'm not answering my phone. It is what it is. But it's going to be A or B. There's never a C, okay? It's A or B. That's how it's this one or it's that one, all right? You see the bricks in the background? You see the different colors, different variations? Okay, it's either one or the other. Either distilled water, if they know I'm coming over, or I'm using spring water. I'm not using tap. Yeah, I need something in my CPAP machine. Your mom knows about it. Don't worry about it.
So stupid. All right, y'all. So there it is. Your pick for the main event of UFC 292. The club banger is Aljamain Sterling via rear naked choke in the 4th round. That being said, please don't leave. It's not over yet. We have a whole show to go. We're still going to talk the co-main event. We're going to talk fight night next week. We will talk a few more MMA and PFL topics, and then we are going to roll into all the big boxing stories. We will be here for the next about 45 minutes. So sit back, grab us some popcorn, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the fun. That being said, what are you sipping on today, Clever D?
I still have my Bro Brothers
Okay.
bourbon whiskey, three African American brothers out of Kentucky made their own whiskey. It's very good. I cannot I'm almost done with it. I think I started this about a month ago, but I kind of slowed down, but it's what it is.
Is what it is. We are not slowing down. Let's keep it moving. What a segue that was. I'm great. All right. Anyways, let's move to the co-main event. Wei Li versus Lemos.
You did it perfect.
Perfect. Good. And I should have just said whatever. I'm not going to try their first name, her first name. Anyways, go ahead, my friend. What is your thoughts about this great women's matchup we have?
Wei Li is amazing straw weight. Okay, she's 115 pounds. I haven't weighed that since the 6th grade, but she's phenomenal. She will use hands and feet on a woman. There's terms I don't use this all the time where they say fight like a girl or whatever. There's levels when it comes to women fighting, just like men's fighting, and there's only a few women that it doesn't matter. You can change. If you can have a way, just so you see the mannequin fight, you will know if it's a man or a woman. And she is one of those fighters that's aggressive, tactical, skillful, all the above as a A-level fighter. Okay, her only 2 blemishes were against Rose Namajunas, who she lost twice to. But Rose is Rose. Those are her 2 blemishes when she lost to her. I think she lost one other fight. But I'm gonna put it like this: she has 23 fights, 11 knockouts, 8 subs. She's going against Amanda Lemos, who's Brazilian, who's a beast. Also, she can put them beaters on you. She's another one of those fighters that upper echelon, very tactical. But I'm gonna go with my homegirl. I'm going with Weili. Oh my god, I butchered her name. But yeah, I'm going with the young lady from China, if I could say her name correctly. But yeah, I'm gonna say 4th round knockout. That's my club banger for that one, and no caveat for this one.
Wei Li Yang with the 4th round KO, and you said that you have no caveat for this, so that means that this other lady, Amanda Lemos, stands no chance, is what you mean, right?
I'm not. You know what? We've seen weirder things, especially with the Valentina Shevchenko fight. Where she got choked out, which I thought she was going to win. So I'm going to say a small club caveat. We'll say a 5th round submission by Lemos. Like, talk with like Leon Edwards knockout on Kamaru Usman, like one of those,
like she gets really lucky at the end.
Yes, type last second, like boom, like oh snap type deal. I feel Lei Wei is gonna dominate. Okay, and I butchering her. I had her name perfect the whole time. Now I'm butchering it. You
really did. You had it good before.
I mean, it is what it is. Don't judge me.
It's all good. So that means do not take that. Do not take that other bet to the bank, folks, because that means that you don't want to try that other bet because she's not going to.
Yeah, I wouldn't try that, but there's a good chance. Oh, if we can get it, get that out the way, Bricks. Melatonin is for real, okay? So I might go to sleep.
It's back. The melatonin award is back. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's move on to another inspirational story from UFC 292. And it's very inspirational to me as well. And if you watchers of the Ball and Butt or listeners to the Ball and Butts podcast, if you do that, or watchers on, by the way, youtube.com @Ball and Buds, if you're there now. If not, go ahead, go there and subscribe. That being said, you would know that I broke my tibia earlier this year. It was a very painful injury. I couldn't walk for a few months. Chris Weidman, I apologize. Weidman, I apologize. Had it even worse than me. He had the tibia and the fibula. And I can't imagine what he went through. Apparently, he sat home as I did for 3 months, not able to move. So anyways, get into this return, get into what it means. I know for me, getting back to walking, I know at one point, my dad was with me when I took my first steps, and I started to cry. It had been so long.
Twice
so
he's been there for your first steps.
It really was. Damn, that's a good point. Shout out to my pop. Love you, Ruben.
Yeah, love you, Ruben.
That being said, talk about this return. Talk about how hard that is to return, and talk about this bout tonight.
He did a grappling recently with someone, like a grappling match, but let's back up on Chris Weidman and his story. Okay, I wrote some notes down on him. All right, because Chris Weidman was, I remember him coming up. Okay, and he was the big thing. He trains with Aljamain Sterling, with Ray Longo and Matt Series, one of those Jersey guys. And this guy was like 11, 12 and 0, had his title shot, first ever title shot against Anderson Silva. I remember we were at Little Shane's house, and I remember talking to my man Ruben, and I was like, "Yo, I got $100. He gonna knock out Anderson Silva." And he puts his hand out and said, not gonna bet. Next round, knocks out Anderson Silva. Boom. Everybody's jumping up and down doing backflips. I saw a baby do a cartwheel in the corner. I was like, where'd the baby come from? But anyways, everybody was going nuts because Anderson Silva was on top of his game back then. They had the rematch. Okay. Anderson Silva was like, okay, this is the guy knocked me off my pedestal. Anderson Silva throws a kick. His toe wraps around Weidman's foot, breaks his leg. If y'all don't remember that. So that's the parallels of these leg breaks. Okay. This guy was on top of the world. Okay. He had notable wins. Anderson Silva twice. You know what I'm saying? He beat who I want to know, name one person has beat Anderson Silva twice, even though the leg break is what it is, but he knocked him out the first time. He's beaten Lyoto Machado. He's beaten Vitor Belfort, and he's beaten Damian Maia. This guy was on a tear, just crushing Brazilians left and right. You know what I'm saying? And then, you look at his losses. He went on a streak of just losses, man. This is why I'm scared of this fight, because he's lost 6 out of his last 8 fights. You know what I'm saying? 6 out of the last 8 fights, dating back to 2015. Okay? So he's lost to Luke Rockhold, Yoel Romero, Gegard Musashi, Jacare. He went up to light heavyweight. Dominic Reyes humbled him, went back down to 185. He won, and then he fights Uriah Hall, his last fight, which was last year or so? Oh, sorry, 2021. Breaks his leg, but get this, he beat Uriah Hall with his 3rd fight ever at MMA. So there was a rematch, and he breaks his leg against him. So I'm happy he's coming back. I like the story, but it's not like he was on a tear previously. This guy, he's, like I said, 6 out of his last 8, dating back to 2015. So he's going against Brad Tavares, who's another guy who's long in the tooth. He was on the Tough Enough, the Ultimate Fighter show with local guy Chris McQuarrie, who fought. Shout out to him, representing Woodbridge, but he fought in the finale against Court McGee. But Brad Tavares was on that show. Brad Tavares is like Weidman. Weidman's 39 years old. Tavares has to be in his upper 30s. So this is one of those things where I love his fighting spirit. It's a great story, but I'm about to pull out another new award. This is brand new. You hear it here first. It's called Sit Your Old Ass Down. All right. Chris Weidman, you got a great career. Sit your old ass down. All right. You're 39 years old. I love that you're still fighting, but you need to stop. You got a family, beautiful kids, beautiful wife. You don't need to put yourself in danger no more. You're already up here. You've been that guy. So I'm not gonna do a club banger on this. I'm just gonna say this is I'm happy he's fighting award right here, because I don't want to. I liked his career. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you see people you kind of rock with fall down. Yeah. I'm just saying, I'll put it like this. Great story. Hallmark story. Shouldn't be fighting anymore. I'm sorry. No need to.
If you could have heard me while you were talking about the leg, I was screaming in agony thinking about so I'm glad I was on mute there. That being said, yeah, no need for a club banger here. This is more of an inspirational story. It does suck that you think that he'll never, make it back to the top again, but never say never, as you mentioned before. It's always possible. Yeah, maybe something happens. So, there is a path at least for him to make it back to the top, but it's just not it doesn't look like a very easy or foreseeable path. So feasible path.
It's one of those things. You look at the champion right now, it's cool. Israel Adesanya. Izzy's a champion. Can he fight him? No. Okay. You look at the top 5, Robert Whittaker, you got Dubois, you got others in that top 5. Can he rock with any of them? No. You got people on the outskirts, Derek Brunson and others at 185. Can he rock with them? No. So it's cool to come back, but I just hope he gets this one fight out the way. just retires. That's my personal opinion. But he's a grown man, he can do what he want to do. But I would love for him, not take more damage, because his leg injury was disgusting. It reminded me of Sid Vicious. Okay, if you ever want to see something, Google Sid Vicious on YouTube. My brother fainted when that happened. He literally.
I was about to say, didn't D faint when that happened?
He fainted. He fainted. It was like, I don't know, one of those type deals. You know what I'm saying? It was gross, but yeah.
I don't want to think about it anymore. Let's keep it moving, y'all. Speaking of another return that happened, and I want to bring this up because we're talking about this return, but last week in Fight Night, there was a RDA, Rafael dos Anjos, fought Vicente Luque, who was actually returning from a brain hemorrhage that he suffered at the hands of a knockout by Jeff Neal. Can you go into that as well?
That fight was literally a year and 6 days ago. If you look at from when they fought each other, it was between a year and 6 days. And I understand fighting's their life and they love it. But if you take a brain hemorrhage, right? You take one of those numbers, like why even fight? I don't get it. I don't understand this. You don't need to put your body through this stuff, okay? Because it's cool to put on a show now. Okay, I think he's like in his early 30s or late 20s. What's going to happen when you're, in your 40s or 50s? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about your body, okay? And that's what it comes with these guys getting their health insurance, because they're all independent contractors working with the UFC. They don't have health insurance, so they're paying for everything. Omar, I don't know what you're doing over there, but it looks pretty funny. But I just don't understand why a lot of these fighters still feel the need to keep going. You having strobe lights over there. What's going on over there? What are you doing?
Shout out to Rube, who wait, hold on.
Yeah, get your mic.
Shout out to my pops Rube, who we were talking about, who's watching the show, and said that I needed to adjust the lights because it was too bright. And I'm like, I can't, because it's a huge lighting thing. It has like 30. I already took 20 of the lights off, and it's still bright. So I don't know what else to do.
Shout out to Rube looking out. That's my man right there. I love Rube. That's the guy.
Love you, my pops. But yeah, I'll get this lighting figured out one day. We'll figure it out. But anyways,
hey man, get you the background like I got, man. I got all the background. These bricks represent all these baby mamas and all the women I'm friends with. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to say what I was gonna say. I won't get canceled. But these are all bricks of lost dates too. All the money I've simped and paid for meals that nothing happened. A lot of those fast food joints, but it's whatever.
That's a little better there. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
So did you have anything else to say on that return of Vicente Luque?
Yeah, just it's cool that he came back and won, but these fighters need to take their health first. You know what I'm saying? If this has been 1 year since you had a brain hemorrhage, and you might take 2 or 3 years, there's no point of for what?
Of rushing back.
I just don't get it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I agree. All right. One last question about UFC 292 tonight. There is a really young Irish cat, a welterweight from Ireland, that people are saying could be the next Conor. Talk to me about that, my friend.
Ian Gary, this guy he's like the hype train on him. He's had a couple fights in UFC. I think this is his 6th UFC fight. His first 5 has all been knockouts or TKOs. He's a boxer from Ireland. He's a real deal. He could talk. He puts on a good show. This is somebody they can definitely want to project to get to that next level as stardom. Because, you got to understand, there's a method to Dana's madness. We talked about this briefly with Khabib. Khabib, even though he's a wrestler, he's not like a uber entertaining guy. He has a big following over there in Abu Dhabi. That's a lot of money out there in the Middle East. A lot of Europeans and in Ireland and even in London and everything, they love their fighters. So Ian Gary, that's a big, he has a big following. So a lot of people are going to tune in, so they're definitely gonna push this guy along, kind of like how they did with Sean O'Malley, and also how they're doing with there's another young cat they're pushing. It reminds me of like a female, like Paige Van Zandt. They pushed her to be something big too. It's all about marketing. You know what I'm saying? And he can put on the show. He's not like the others that they pushed and can't produce. He produces. So I would say tune into him. And the person I was mentioning was Bo Nickel. That's the other guy, the other young one. You're muted. Neck.
I was just about to say the same thing. Bo Nickel. We had talked about him a few weeks ago on the last one, but yes, you are completely right. Cool. Word. Well, look out for Ian Gary. Look out for Bo Nickel. Look out for all those young cats in the UFC on their way up. That being said, my friend there is one more fight we need to talk about. That is UFC Fight Night. Not tonight, y'all, but next Saturday, Max Holloway versus the Korean Zombie in the main event. Please, what are your thoughts on this?
This fight.
And by the way, y'all, real quick, I'm going to switch views just so you can see him bigger. And then when we come back to talking, I'll switch back. So don't think I'm being crazy.
All right. So with this fight, I'm not going to, I don't want to say battle the potential washes, but Korean Zombie, last time we saw him, I believe it was Volkanovski, and they stopped that fight because he was getting his butt whipped. And even though he's a late replacement, he got an ass whooping. Holloway's in that weird realm where he's fought Volkanovski, 3 times, and lost each one. So
lost each one, yep.
Does he deserve to get another title shot against him? He's stuck in a weird spot. I have Max Holloway all the way. He's the type of fighter who's just going to put his heart and soul and everything. He's going to leave it all in the cage. I honestly think Korean Zombie, I think he's done. I honestly don't think he should fight anymore. This guy's taking way too many shots to the head. And if you remember that loss he took to Yair Rodriguez, which was that backwards elbow out of nowhere, that sent him to the promised land. So I honestly think this dude, he's been hit too many times. So I got Holloway 110%. You can put that one in the bank. Maybe Wells Fargo or Wachovia, whichever one you think.
I want to try this out. Your club banger for that is what again?
Max Holloway.
Did you hear it?
I heard it.
Okay, good. I don't know why I did 1 ring at first. It should do the 3 rings at first. Anyways, all right, cool. Well, then, that is a great prediction there. As he said, the Korean Zombie, he believes, is done. So make sure you put your money on Max Holloway. That is next Saturday, not tonight. That being said, my friend, do you have any other MMA topics that you want to discuss?
Right now, we got this fight coming up. We're kind of in like a dead era with like boxing, MMA, but we have football around the corner. So that's going to help us out on the weekends. But, besides MMA, I can't think of any big fights besides John Jones and Stipe. Boxing, the big one coming up is going to be Canelo versus Charlo. We'll get to that later, but we're about to hit this like kind of chill, slow down era when it comes to combat sports. There's some fights where they're like little ones, not really big fights. So now for all you boxing, and I'm sorry, not boxing, but college and NFL fans, this is your time to shine, to where you have to worry about, oh man, I might miss the Saturday night game to watch the fight. So, it's ramping up pretty soon.
Oh, I cannot wait for football season. Here we go. My Mets suck, so I'm done with them. So we are ready for football
talk about the White Sox.
Even though, yeah, both of them. And the Raiders are going to suck this year. So the only one here who has anything to look forward to in football is the 49er fan to your left. That being said, I do have the Celtics, though, so let's go there. By the way, speaking of, quick shout out to our boys at the Bottom Line Sports. Shout out Flo Canteen and Hot Take Jake, my boys.
Take Jake, my guy.
Yes. And programming announcement. The Bottom Line Sports will be coming to you on Sunday, every Sunday. We won't be switching back throughout the football season. We are going to come in between the afternoon games. So we will review all the afternoon games and then preview your Sunday night game. So look forward to the Bottom Line Sports every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Bottom Line Sports on YouTube. And also, please go join the Bottom Line Sports on Facebook. Our sports group is hilarious. We post news stories, memes, things like that. And also shout out to IOW Sports Network, my boy Wildcard Mar. You can go join them there as well.
Great insight, Wildcard Mar. He was funny on the show. I would say this with the Bottom Line Sports guys. Those guys are hilarious. My man Canteen, my man Flo, whatever. Take Jake. So the thing about that, let's stop with the Cowboys loving. Okay, all right. Let's stop the show now. All right, let's relax. And Well, I'll get to Jake later. That's my guy. But come on, man. Some of the Broncos takes, like, bro, come on. Samaje P. Ryan as a running back, bro. Stop.
They just keep getting worse and worse as we go
Yeah,
along.
like
So.
he'll say something so good and then it'll just go that way. Like, man.
And I know you said you came on late last time. I believe they said that last year he said Teddy Bridgewater was the MVP. So we know where
Theodore Bridgewater. Okay. He yeah, exactly. So come on, bro.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
All
right, moving on from that nonsense. We have some boxing coming up. Pretty big fight, the biggest fight we're gonna have in heavyweight at least for a while. We have. For the WBO, WBC, and WBA heavyweight boxing championship of the world, Oleksandr Usyk, who is the champion, he defeated Anthony Joshua pretty handily and took the belts from him. And I know we'll talk about him in a second. And he is fighting David Dubois.
David
Dubois. Okay, David Dubois. So, my friend, what are your thoughts on this fight? And give us your club banger. This is coming up, by the way, y'all, next weekend as well, next Saturday.
I mean, David Dubois, he's a British heavyweight, brothers from, I believe, London or somewhere in that area. You know, he has 20 wins, 18 knockouts. You may have seen him on the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley fight. He was on the undercard of that. His only loss is to Joe Joyce, who recently lost to another heavyweight, Chinese heavyweight Yang, who knocked him out, which was a good fight. They got a rematch coming up in September. You guys check that out on ESPN Plus. But he's just a WBA mandatory. Like, I remember Usyk has 3 of the main belts, and Tyson Fury has the other belts. So that's why he's not undisputed. I mean, this fight, it's gonna be a typical Usyk fight. I think he's gonna outclass him, outbox him. It'll probably go to distance. I don't think he's gonna knock him out because David Du Bois' last outing wasn't that great. I mean, I believe he won by knockout, but he didn't look too good. So Usyk, he's one of those high level fighters. You know, this guy was undisputed at a cruiserweight. He had all the belts, so he's searching to be like Terrence Bud Crawford, to be 2 division undisputed. So I got Usyk winning this handily. I mean, Du Bois, if I would say if it goes 12 rounds, Du Bois might get 2 or 3 rounds, and that's being nice. But Usyk will find a way to take all of his strengths away and kind of outbox him and take him, get him up out of there. I don't think he'll knock him out again because, you know, he had Joshua in the first fight. He had Joshua pretty close, but they kind of rang the bell kind of early, like 10 seconds early, which was out of its world. But Joshua was going to go. But he beat Joshua twice. This guy Usyk is that man. And I think Fury is scared of him because Fury is 6'7", 6'8", or I think he's 6'9", but Usyk's the type of fighter that can get under his guard, unlike other fighters that Fury fights. So I don't think Fury wants to fight Usyk at all. You know, that's why he's fighting Ngannou in October, which is just a waste of time. I don't watch the fight, but, you know, Fury's gonna whoop that ass. Just saying. Mute again, sir.
So thank you for the beautiful. Yeah, I just want to turn myself off while you're talking because I like the clearness. But yeah, beautiful segue there. So you think Usyk is going to win? Obviously, Fury and Ngannou is a money grab, and I know you don't. I know you don't believe Ngannou stands a chance in winning that. So they both win. What are the chances that we see an Oleksandr Usyk versus Fury fight, or is there no chance at all?
I think there's still a small chance. It's just the money. Usyk said he'll do whatever Fury wanted, accept whatever pay, and then they're still kind of they're waffling on it. I know at one time the folks out in Abu Dhabi, they wanted to have that being the main event and then having Wilder and Joshua being the undercard to that fight because they got all the money out there. They offered, I think it's Mape. I think I pronounced his name right. Soccer dude.
Mbappe, yeah. Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe.
Him, they wanted Messi out there. They got Neymar out there, right? I believe they have him out there in Saudi. They were going to get me to go out there, but, you know, I had my prosthetic toe, so I couldn't go out there. But, you know, the Saudis got all the money. They're trying to put on the big fights. So I think the fight might happen. They'll put up enough money to make it rock. But I honestly feel that Fury didn't want no part of him. I don't think he wanted it. So but I pray it happens. But, you know, we got potentially Wilder and Joshua coming up. So depending on who wins that might, you know, be a wrinkle in that whole fight happening.
And so another beautiful segue. You might as well keep going. Have your own damn show, Clever D. No, I'm sorry. Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius.
Helenius, yeah.
We were actually in New Orleans for our fantasy football draft. Shout out to the 703 boys in the VA Hustlers Fantasy Football League. We love you. Great time that was, except for the red dress. That being said, my friend. So we were out there when this fight happened. We saw the knockout together. We oohed and awed. I watched it on replay probably like 16 times sitting on the outside front desk. What were your thoughts on that fight? And also follow that up with, now that we know Joshua won, will there be a Joshua Wilder like everyone wants to see?
Well, first and foremost, I'm touching the fantasy football draft. It was a great time out there. And I would like to say that the carpet in the Airbnb we had about 17 bodies that day because we all tripped over that carpet for some weird reason. I have a high ankle sprain. I'm out for 4 to 6 weeks because of that. But now back to the fight.
University of Maryland, number 52.
All-American. But yeah, so I would say this. Helenius, that fight happened, I think it was like 1 week notice because Dillian White failed a piss test, which was probably the third time he's done that. Eddie Hearn just has bad luck with his fighters with using anabolic steroids. But he failed. So the guy Helenius, who had fought that prior weekend and won in like a third or fourth round fight against a regional fighter. So he was already in shape and ready to go. So Joshua didn't have that much preparation for Helenius. Who we all know got knocked out by Wilder in the first round of Wilder's comeback fight. My issue with Wilder first, I'll get to Helenius. He got knocked out in the 7th. I mean, he went down like a it's old saying, a ton of bricks, but he went down like he was already ready to go to sleep because his hand was up like this, and he went like that. And he was snoring. Like I literally want to put in my CPAP, put it to his nose, and make sure his sleep apnea didn't kick in because he was already in Neverland.
He was out before he even started falling, dog.
Yeah, he was done.
I was like, oh, did he break his neck?
Like it was rigor mortis that set in. I was like, oh Lord, he didn't caught a body. Like it was good to see Joshua knock somebody out again. It was hopefully to get that confidence because you got to remember, guys, this is Joshua's second fight with Derek James, who's Errol Spence's trainer, the Charlo twins' trainer, Frank Martin's trainer, Ryan Garcia's new trainer. So he was trainer of the year 2 years in a row. He's won trainer of the year twice already. So he has a good stable of fighters under him. So he's a good trainer. Joshua's last trainer for one fight for Usyk for the rematch, was Robert Garcia. And Wilder didn't want to listen. Garcia say one thing, he'd do something else. He had McCracken, who's with this whole time going up as a heavyweight. So this is his third trainer, and I would say third trainer in probably the 5th fight. So the thing I saw mostly that I didn't like was he keeps his head on the center line. He does not move his head. If you look at his face, he had a busted eye, bloody nose, bloody lip. Helenius was touching him. Okay, so he was hitting him. Okay, so if you cannot move your head, you do not have the footwork now, and you're in your 30s as a boxer, when are you going to get it? Okay, Wilder does not fight conventionally. He can't throw a jab. Okay, Malik Scott is helping him out. He's gotten better, but Wilder is an anomaly when it comes to boxing. I've never seen anything like this. You can say Tyson, but no. Wilder is the only fighter who has knocked down or knocked out everybody he's fought. Think about that for a second. Knocked down or knocked out everybody he's fought, okay?
And he's been in like 40 fights.
Yes, Wilder is 46-2 with one draw, okay? Knocked down and knocked out everyone he's fought. So, and he's only... one fight, I think he weighed 217 pounds when he fought Fury, I think the second time. He comes in very light, and he could generate so much power because he's 6'7" from that wiry frame. It's like the twerk on his punch is like a whip, and he knocks people out. He doesn't knock the race also when he just knocks into another land. Okay, so I think if Wilder and Joshua fight, I say 3rd or 4th round, he's gonna have a tea time. He's gonna be hanging out with Danger Mouse and Paddington the Bear. He's gonna be, hanging out with Mary Poppins, come down with an umbrella. His body will be there, but his mind will be up there. Okay, it's gonna be bad because he does not move his head. Fury was an all around boxer, so he knew what to do. But you fight Wilder the way you fought Helenius or Franklin or the way you fought Usyk, you're going to sleep, sir. It's it. You're taking a nap. Hey, come back here. Where you at? Get on here. There you go. Let me get that right. Boom, take the whole bottle. Jesus, like but here's the caveat. We got a club's caveat for this already. Wilder has only fought once in 2 years. That was only one round. So, how's his chin? Can he take a punch? If Joshua gets in, can Wilder take a punch? He was supposed to fight Andrew Ruiz, but they couldn't get the money right, so that fight never happened. So I doubt that's going to happen. They're just trying to move to Joshua in January. So, let's see, Wilder will be 38 in October. Can he take a punch? If he can't take a punch, then Joshua can catch him, and if he catches him, he may be taking a nap again, okay, just like he did with Fury. So I'm saying Wilder, but I'm saying 5% chance Joshua can win. That's due to the inactivity. Oh, I heard the bell. What's going on?
Now that I figured out we have sound effects, I'm over here playing with all the sound effects while you. But shout out to Flo, who's watching the show and actually came in through and said that Wilder versus Joshua was coming. He said asked if Clubber D got a new camera. He said he's picking Dubois in an upset because you should always pick opposite of Clubber D.
Oh, that's See, I was gonna get on Flo. All right, I was on the ban list because I had a couple messages that he didn't read until last stuff. I'm gonna let that slide. But look here, Flo. I understand you're a Cowboys fan. All right, I totally get it. And some of this delusions of grandeur, some of these predictions you guys have, is ridiculous. I get it, but you gotta understand, I'm the after the fact king. I'm never wrong, baby. Come on now, you know this, Flo. You're my man. Love you like a play cousin, but come on now. Usyk's gonna win. The Boys is going down. You know what? I will bet you 100 of Omar's dollars that I'm just messing around.
Dollars I don't have. So, anyways, and he also asked, and this is a serious question: have you seen Wilder grow as a fighter these past few years, or is he just the knockout artist that you? So astutely put that he knocks down and knocks everybody out, or is he actually growing as a fighter to where he can actually make a run back at Fury or Usyk? And I just added in that last part, but yeah.
Well, the beauty with the heavyweight division is that that's why I don't really have heavyweights on my pound for pound top 10 list, because it's punching power. Wilder, Teddy Atlas has said it best. The guy can't throw a jab. He does not know how to throw a jab. That's basic boxing fun 101. He picked up boxing late because he's tried to play football. He got injured. He's actually playing for Alabama, and he had got injured. He's defensive end, I believe. So he picked up boxing very late. Picking up boxing in your 20s is very late start. If you look at him fight, it's so unorthodox and so wild. I've never seen anything like this. But he can, like I said earlier, he generates so much power in his punches that he knocks down or knocks out everybody. When he fought Fury, because he's been with Malik Scott since what is this? He's only been with Malik Scott like 2 fights.
It's only been a short time. Yeah,
third Fury fight, because he fired Mark Breland, who was a great trainer. They said that he juiced. Something was wrong with his water. He threw the towel in on the second Fury fight, which he should have done. He was getting whooped. Now, another story is Fury's gloves was a little suspect. They're flapping around, but he fired his trainer and got Malik Scott. So for the third fight against Fury, I would say the first 3 or 4 rounds, he was actually throwing a jab to the body. He looked like he had some fundamentals, but you cannot learn that out of nowhere. So with this new trainer, he had a fight against Helenius where he knocked him out with like 3 seconds left in the first round. So for him to grow, for a man who's about to be 38, I think you can kind of get him to stop doing some of the bad habits he has, but those, in fact, bad habits help him win fights, So I would think for him, for a fight against Joshua, will be his defense. How would his defense look to see if he's learned anything? But his boxing skills, his punching and things like that, I don't think there's no helping that, to be honest with you. I just don't think. It's more defense if he can work on his defense.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you for that. That was an amazing analysis on Wilder and his future. And we'll see if he can actually get back to the top. I mean, he would have to obviously go through Joshua first. I mean, either to even get a shot at an Usyk or a Fury, which again would probably be a long way off. So thank you for that analysis. We appreciate that. But I would love to see all those fights. So I do hope they happen. And I know you do as well. That being said, let's go over a couple fights that no one got to hear Clubber D's takes on live on the air. So let's go through Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz.
Well, actually, they did hear me because I was on with Flo with the bottom line with that crew.
That's right. I was
with the crew. I had a great time on there. Now I said knockout. I did say knockout, but Jake Paul did win it in the first round. He had Diaz a little wobbly, and then the fifth round he actually knocked him down with a great shot on the temple. Now, I believe I said this before many times. Jake Paul does kind of take boxing serious. Okay, he's been up to Big Bear, trained with some legit fighters. And he's doing a lot for women's boxing. So he's taking the sport serious. When I saw Nate Diaz spar with Robert Garcia in his gym, I said, oh, Lord. I said, oh, Lord. He's getting his ass whooped. I thought he was going to get knocked out because when I saw him sparring, like no footwork, not moving the head, like, no, come on, bro. Like it's, and I know him and his brother used to train with Andre Ward, SOG, one of the best boxers in my
I was going to say, I remember you saying that on a podcast episode like 2 years ago. Yeah.
But I think I may have mentioned this before, So Freddie Roach used to train GSP, and he actually cornered him a couple of his fights in the UFC. And Freddie Roach recently had said that boxing and MMA, the stance are just totally different. The way your footwork, it's totally different. And to not stick with the same thing, it's hard to break those habits. And I honestly feel that, Diaz was never a knockout artist in MMA. You know what I'm saying? He's not like he's going to knock you out. He's a volume fighter. So after like the third or fourth round or whatever, you're worn out. Those jabs he's given, you know what I'm saying, they hurt and you're going to go down. He's a volume fighter. He's not a knockout artist. So I didn't think he was going to knock Jake Paul out, though he did have some cool fights. But I wanted to, what fighter in history of fighting does this and runs straight? What is that? Put your head down. What is that? Was he a battering ram? Like, I don't know what was going on with that. Like, he was like that little
bull in a china shop.
Yes, he was doing that to Jake Paul. Like, bro, what are you, the little dinosaur on Jurassic Park 2 hitting the Jeep over? Like, I didn't understand. Was he bonk? Like, I don't understand what he's doing. Like, the fight was entertaining. If Jake Paul knew how to cut a ring off, the fight wouldn't have lasted long. But Jake Paul just didn't know how to, cut the ring off and do certain things. I mean, I give credit for Jake Paul going 10 rounds. I give credit for Nate Diaz staying in there with him, but no, he took him to school. It was a novice, semi above average person just boxing going against a beginner. That's kind of what it was. Diaz has the background in mixed martial arts and combat fighting. So maybe the pressure and things like that, the mental game, he was good on that. But as far as the boxing game, if he fought a real boxer, that wouldn't last one round. He got a lot of shots off on Jake Paul because Jake Paul's inexperienced, doesn't know as much, but he knows more than the average person. So that just puts him just above the threshold of, average, above average expert. So I would say Jake Paul's, he's like in their middle. I would say he's not bad. He's not terrible, but if he fights a real boxer, it's gonna be a problem. I'll put it like that. It'll be a real problem. He fought Tyson Fury's brother. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I would say he fought Tyson Fury's brother and lost because his name is I forgot Tyson Fury's brother's name, but he's his brother grew up around boxing. Tyson, they're stepbrothers. Tyson Fury, they have the same father, and he knows a little more than Jake Paul does about boxing. That's why he was able to win using footwork and angles and things like that. Jake Paul's just not there yet. Jake Paul is efficient against novice or these long in the tooth boxers, maybe, but if he gets in there with somebody real, it's gonna be a problem, a real problem.
So can you talk about, because Flo actually mentioned in the comments, and this is a good point. Can you talk about how he asked the question about Wilder? Now he's asking about Paul. How has he progressed boxing wise, and can he ever become a top level boxer? Flo says he obviously needs more work to fight a good boxer, but can he ever get there with the training and that he started so late and everything like that?
So I think his first fight was against some guy, was it Gibb? No, his first fight was Nate Robinson. Nate Robinson was his first fight. Then he fought another YouTuber.
To the metaverse.
He went to sleep. And Paul's young. He's only like 24, maybe. He's still young, so he can still learn some more basics. So I think he can definitely be a regional type fighter. He'll never get to like upper echelon. He won't get a belt. He'll never get to that level. But I think he could put on definitely some entertaining fights against I wouldn't say celebrities, but like mixed martial artists, or maybe a boxer past his prime, or somebody that's kind of long into somebody in their late 30s, early 40s that was good back in the day.
But he's never going to win a world title.
Hell no. No, not at all. I like what he's doing, but I put it like this because the only reason I'm saying this because he's already talking about doing MMA. So he's going to pause his boxing and learn MMA. I know he has a wrestling background, but you cannot just stop and do one thing, not train. It doesn't work like that. And it's like, so Clarissa Shields, who's the best women's boxer ever. That's I love her. She's amazing. I tried to call last week. She didn't answer, but whatever.
The GOAT status.
Yeah, she calls herself the greatest woman of all time. So she did multiple weight class undisputed in women boxing. Okay. And I don't want to hear about because she's a female. She'd probably whoop your ass. So she went to PFL and fought. Okay. And she trained with Greg Jackson, who trained John Jones and a lot of others down in Albuquerque, Mexico. She won her first PFL fight, and I believe she lost her second or third fight. So she took an L, her first loss ever. She as a professional, she did that in PFL. And that lady she fought wasn't that great, but you got to understand these women have been doing mixed martial arts for a long time. She's only doing boxing only, so strictly boxing. So the angles of being upright, being able to someone take you down or wrestle you down and do what they got to do, you can't defend that. You cannot learn that in 5-6 months. Okay, it takes time, but if you're taking time to learn one thing, you're not learning from the other thing. So that's why I think Jake Paul, if he sticks with boxing, I'll say maybe by like age 32, 33, he might be something special, possibly, but not something special, but just a decent fighter. But as far as being a champion, no, I don't think so.
I agree. I just had to ask. All right, cool.
No worries.
Flo wants to see him in MMA too, he said. He definitely wants to see him get in that octagon, so we'll see what happens there. Moving on to one last boxing review that I know you wanted to talk about, this barn burner, since we were just talking about rich history of Mexican fighters and the way they throw those beaters. So my friend Oscar Navarrete, a really great up and comer, went in there and Valdez tried to hold his own, and he was at war with him, but Navarrete was too much. Please tell us about this fight and about how good this kid Oscar Navarrete is.
Well, see, Navarrete, so he's I think he's a champ at 130, and Oscar Valdez was at that weight class, moved up, then I think went back down because he moved up after Shakur Stevenson beat him for the belt, and then Shakur moved up to 135. But this fight, they've been trying to get this fight going for a while. You know what I'm saying? This was a war. They even had Eric Morales there. They had Barrera. They had all the Mexican Julio or Chavez was there. All the great Mexican fighters were there, and Julio Cesar Chavez. There we go. And all the Mexican fighters, because they knew this fight was gonna be crazy. Jam-packed outside arena. I loved it. We had just got back off Bourbon Street.
Flo said his dad's was Roberto Duran was his favorite boxer.
Really? Well, I mean, hey, his dad is the man, because if Roberto Duran, admittedly, if he focused more on boxing and not partying, probably would have been he is one of the best ever, but like he just loved to party. But Roberto Duran, God, man, that's when boxers would box. Like he's amazing fighter. I love Roberto Duran. I love watching his old highlights. But shout out to Flo's dad. Shout out to Flo too. But yeah, so this fight, to me, we just got back off Bourbon Street. We were flying out the next day. Me, Dale the Snail, my man Lamar. I think you and Eric had already bounced out and came back in, and we were watching this fight. I told Lamar, like, yo, this fight's gonna be good. He's like, oh, whatever. After the fourth round, we were all eyes in looking at this fight. And Navarrete, this guy is straight volume. Like he's punching at least 130 to 160 times a round. nonstop throwing him. Okay, Valdez, he wants to catch him with the overhand left because he's a smaller fighter, but you can't take that pressure for so long. And I want to say I thought Valdez was gonna take over because I want to say round 6 or round 7. Navarrete was messing with his right hand. His right hand was messing with him. He didn't throw a power shot all around. And then once Oscar Valdez kind of figured that out and started going at him a little more, then he's just said F it and just started swinging more. He just said F it and just gonna swing on my right and use my power hand. But I would say if you see the pictures, I would say everyone take a time, Google or just Google image Oscar Valdez's face. Okay, his eye was shut. He had a big knot on his eye. He looked like Udenis Ugas when he fought Earl Spence. Like, I know his orbital socket has to be broken because he could barely. I don't think he could see out that eye.
No, he couldn't. His whole eye was shut. His whole eye was
done.
Shut.
Like, it looked like an inflated fortune cookie. It would just look disgusting. All right. And if you look at Navarrete, his face was crystal clear. Okay, I don't know what he puts on his face. I don't know if it's some type of oil. I don't know if it's some Salzone. I don't know what it is. Give me some of that because
some Salzone with Vaseline mixed.
Yeah, he put something on there, but I need some of that because he looked like he didn't even get into a fight. He didn't even look touched. Okay, so Navarrete, he's upper echelon fighter, and I want to say, I know Shakur because nobody wants to fight Shakur Stevenson. He said, "Hey, I'll fight him," but I don't think Navarrete is going to move up to 135. I think he might try to clean out that whole division at 130. Who knows? But I would like to see Navarrete fight. I would say Keyshawn Davis, who's from Virginia. He's under. He trains with Shakur Stevenson. Bo Mack, that's Bud Crawford. That's the same crew. I don't want to see him fight him just yet. But Navarrete, man, that guy's a monster. He's a beast. So I got to call him tomorrow, but he might be busy. You never know.
Shout out to the VA Hustlers, our home. VA is not only for lovers, but the hustlers as well. That being said, Oscar Navarrete is definitely a hustler. What do you see him doing next?
I got him probably cleaning out the division 130.
You did say that. Sorry.
Yeah, I got him getting about. No, you're all good. Unless Shakur Stevenson, because Shakur has called out a lot of people at 135. Nobody wants to fight him. Lomachenko, because Devin Haney and Regis Prograis, which I just read that fight might not happen in October, so they might push that fight further back.
But Devin Haney doesn't want to get in the ring with him, or
he wanted October. I think it's just the scheduling. But Devin Haney wants to hear back from some of the commissions, all the belts he holds, because he's like, if I move up to 140, can I still have these belts? And they're like, hell no, man. No, we're not doing that. You're not Canelo. Canelo's the only guy that can hold belts for it, apparently. But Jamel Charlo at 160. He hasn't fought in 2 years, and so it's a WBC belt. I don't understand how that happens, but that's boxing for you.
And so before we move on to that, that's a great segue to another subject. Tank calling out Crawford, is that something that is
Tank needs to worry about probation, and then once he's off probation, focus on who you want to fight at 135. Okay. If you want to fight Shakur Stevenson, if you want to fight Lomachenko, if you want to cross the street and fight these other fighters, worry about that. You're not going to 147. Crawford ain't doing no catch weight for you. I like Tank, but all the Tank D-riders out there need to realize Tank doesn't have no really marquee fighters. Ryan Garcia is not a marquee fighter, okay? The only fighter he made
him a marquee fighter.
Ryan Garcia, he has terrible, man. People that know boxing knew that fight was going to be terrible. We knew Tank was going to whoop his ass. And it's just Ryan Garcia has a big following. That fight made a lot of money, and I'm tired of these people being like, hey, man, Tank makes a lot of money. Are you getting any money? Why do you care how much money he gets? I don't care how much money he gets. It's all about legacy in boxing. Boxing is not about, I got 60 Lamborghinis. No, it's how many belts you got, all right? 10 years from now, they're going to know who you are. Yes, get your money, but calm down, people. Like, chill out. Get off their D-rut. Get off their D's, okay? But Tank, like, I feel like Tank should be up here with the fighters. I got him in my pound for pound top 10, but I just feel like I want him to wipe everybody out because I think he can do it. I think he can beat Shakur Stevenson. I think he can, but I just want to see the fight, and I'm tired of excuses. Like we had Bud in And Earl made excuses for 5 years, and then we see what happens. So stop the excuses, make the fight happen. Let's just stop all the bullshit. Fight Haney, fight Lomachenko, fight Shakur Stevenson. You got Inoue saying I'll fight Tank at 130. I'm like, Inoue, you just won the 122 fight. You're not ready for Tank, all right, sir. You're great. You're good right now. You're up there. You're not ready for Tank. Sorry, sir. That's not gonna.
Amazing. He's amazing, but no, sir. God, I need you to step back a little bit, take a couple years to put on some more weight, maybe, because that's a tough hill to climb if you're that small. That being said, a fan question. Oh, it's Flo. If Canelo beats Charlo, which we're about to get into in a second, we have a mailbag question on that. Should we'll come back. This will be a good follow-up to our mailbag. So let's start our fan mailbag. By the way, y'all, we now have 2 mailbags. You can reach Clubber D and myself at. I got us a brand new one, which makes it easier on all of y'all. It's ballandbuds@gmail.com. So ballandbuds@gmail.com.
Shout out to our fans in Italy too. Shout out to our fans in Italy.
Oh, we're big in Italy, big in France, big in Europe. So shout out to all of you. Ball and Buds will be doing a European tour very, very soon. That being said, again, if you want to email Clubber D to find out his thoughts on any subjects on these live shows, please email ballandbuds@gmail.com. Or if you still have that old email, you can still hit that up as well. I still check that, ballandbuds@mvpsmb.com. Shout out my business, MVP Specialty Marketing Business. Moving on, the mailbag. First one, staying on our rich Mexican fighter history, from Mexicali Tejano, nice name. What happened at the Canelo versus Charlo press conference that they got to talking, that Charlo got to talking sweet about Canelo?
The press. Okay, so Charlo's brother, who Canelo decided not to fight back in the day, fought Kirkland in Houston at the Astro Stadium at the time. I thought it was a bit of a duck move. And then they left. Golden Boy went to Aljamain. But anyway, for not securing that fight. But they've been trying to get this fight, him or his brother. They've been trying to get this fight forever because Canelo's a cash cow. And Canelo don't really be fighting brothers like that. So I knew when he said Charlo, I was sure it wasn't going to be the 160-pounder. It was going to be the smaller one, which I think is a better fight because he's the better Charlo to me. He only has one loss to Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison's a wiry fighter, hard to figure out. In the rematch, he beat the snot out of him. So this Charlo to me is the one I'm really excited for this fight, and it just pisses me off because it's not the way it used to be. Like, not saying you have to be Ricardo Mayorga and call Oscar De La Hoya the F word and all this other stuff and question sexuality or smoke or smack Shane Mosley's girlfriend on the butt, and get something going at the press conference, but you don't have to kiss their ass the whole fight, the whole press conference. Like, Jesus Christ, you're about to fight this guy, okay? Get off his sack. All right, Charlo, good. Like, and another thing, Charlo, it was just like a smoozing contest. Like, oh, Canelo's, he's just so great. Damn, do you think you can win? Come on, man. Tell him you're gonna pour the cinnamon out or something. Just talk about something. Just be mean. Just
rider.
Yes, just get off his sack. I know you're getting the money. I get it. Okay. Talk about him doing rehydration clauses against bums.
So tell us why this is. Then why did the younger, smaller Charlo brother, who's not as well equipped to fight Canelo, why did he get the fight instead of the other brother?
Well, the other brother, he said he wouldn't be ready by September. He hasn't fought. He has a lot of mental health and alcohol issues and drug issues. He can't get his shit together. And allegedly, all this is alleged. He's getting into it with Benavidez. You saw what happened with Plant slapped him at the Terrence Crawford weigh-in thing or at the fight. His hat did a 360. You know what I'm saying? His hat stayed on his head, but his hat did a 360 after getting slapped. And this is what I don't like about this.
I hope you say what I'm going to say. I don't like either. Go ahead.
Well, this is the thing. I don't know what you're going to say, but we'll get. I don't like the fact that Charlo had an interview with the Breakfast Club, and Charlamagne asked him, "How do you feel about that Plant slapping your brother?" And apparently the Charlos were fighting each other, and Plant jumped in to break this up. Y'all are famous grown men, should not be fighting in public. Okay, come on now. But he goes, "Hey, well, that's between them. I mean, it's whatever." Wait a minute. You slapped my brother, okay? You slapped my brother, and I'm not. You think I'm just gonna say, "Oh, that's between them"? No, I'm gonna slap the race off your face. You slap any of my friends in public, and it's on recording.
If you slap,
it's on site. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
if you slap Clubber D's brother, and I'm there, I'm gonna fight you.
Yes, like I don't understand. Like, how do you say this about your twin brother? Oh, that's between them. I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Like,
you think a Bam Bajo would ever say some shit like that? No, come on now. Mm-mm. That being said, what I was mad about, shout out to Bam Bajo, what I was mad about, and Guadio G next, what I was mad about is the fact that he didn't do nothing. He just got slapped and took that shit and just stood there. Didn't even try to make a move like he was gonna go back. He just stood there.
He talks all this stuff like he's literally Jared Hurd, local fighter from DMV. Shout out PG County. He slapped the younger Charlo before for disrespecting his girl at the time, or his wife. This Charlo got slapped. So Charlo's girlfriend and his cousin tried to come at Plant, but Charlo just stood there. And this is the guy that went at Benavidez at a fight when they saw each other in the crowd, like told the security guard, "Hey, yo, get the gun. Man, come on, man." That was a bad weekend for Texas boys. And shout out to Texas. Texas is a great state. I love Texas. I've been to Plano, Frisco. Texas is nice, but Jesus Christ. Like, Earl took an L that weekend, and Charlo getting slapped. Yeah, Caleb Plant representing the Tennessee, Cashville. He gave me that Cashville slap for Broadway. It's one of those things. I just don't understand these guys. They talk.
Do it again. I wanted to blow you up for the slap.
Damn, just like that. That's the Cashville. That's from the top of Broadway to the bottom. To the bottom line,
from the top of Broadway,
all the way. What's the name of that arena at the top?
To the river. Oh, Bridgestone,
all the way down to the bottom line. Bam, just like that. All the way down to
Nissan.
There you go. All the way to Nissan. He landed. His hat landed in the water. I mean, come on now.
Yo, Flo says if anyone slaps any of his TBL Sports brothers, it's on site. And I think Flo's a pastor. And I think Flo's a pastor, which means we ain't turning the other cheek right now, right? So
hey, do unto others that they do unto you, okay?
Hey, thank you, Lord Jesus.
But it's just one of those things. Like it was just so bad because he's trying to break up two brothers, twins at that fighting. You guys are world champions. You guys are role models, even though you believe it or not, to some people. You're representing a lot of things. It's not just you. It's the community, and he's trying to break this up. You mush him in the face, and he's mad at you, push him in the face. And you're acting nonchalant about it. So yes, he's gonna slap the taste out of your mouth. I mean, come on, what are you doing?
Agreed. I agree completely. And another so the follow-up question: if Canelo does beat Charlo, which we expect, is there going to be a Bivol Canelo Part 2?
Well, it's not a gimme that he's going to win. We'll save that for the Club Banger when we review that fight. But I got it. I don't. We'll talk about that later. He wants Bivol, but Bivol. There's a lot of stipulations with Bivol because Bivol's like, if I fight you, it's going to be for all your belts at 168. Bivol's 175 light heavyweight champion. He wants to fight Better Beef, but the problem with Bivol is he's Russian and he has not said anything negative against the war. He's been kind of like, I'm not, whatever. But the WBC,
they're not letting him fight, right?
Yeah, well, they don't want to sanction that fight. Okay, so if he wins, he won't be undisputed. So that's the problem with that. And WBC, that's the green belt for folks that don't know. They're the ones telling Bivol all this stuff. So it's like he's damned if you do, damned if you don't. They got Better Beef fighting one of Eddie Hearn's British fighters, Johnny McDitton or whoever, somebody like that, and he's going to knock him out. And he's another fighter that no one talks about. Better Beef. Canelo was talking about fighting him, and Canelo would have got a freckle knocked off. He would have fought him, at 175. But yeah, he's fighting a Liam. One of them Liam brother. I don't know. It's somebody over there. Johnny McDitton. Johnny McMuffin. Something.
I had to give the code
name. Who?
Who? Shout out, Conan.
Yeah,
Who
like,
is that? Johnny McMuffin.
Johnny McMuffin, I don't know, something like that.
Who is this potato can or tomato can? I said potato can. Where do
And
potatoes come in cans at? Wow, Omar.
When I was over in London, they like to put it was a pork and beans on toast and eat that. And I'm like, you guys have the audacity.
Another fan comment coming in then says, should Beevil just move up then?
No. I mean,
because they're not going to sanction him to fight up there either, right?
Well, I mean, he can fight. He can fight. It's just tricky. He's good at 175. He's at his great weight class. You know, he can fight better Bev, but it's just the WBC, that belt, that particular belt. So he has a WBA belt. So yeah, they did a training photo of him in the gym. So he's getting ready for a fight pretty soon.
Oh man, one last question, and this is from ya boy, because I want to show everybody there are some haters out there, as many Clubber D lovers that we have out there, especially y'all's mothers. We've had a lot of haters, and they try to claim that your knowledge is not what it is, and they try to say that you study everything beforehand and everything like that. So I scheduled a nice special question that Clubber D has no clue what I'm going to ask, and I just want to see how much knowledge he truly has for all you haters out there. So that being said, let's go back to last weekend. There was a fight night. So there you go, y'all. He doesn't even know where I was going with it. There was a man named Damon Blackshear who performed what is called the Twister maneuver. I've never seen it before, personally. Mm-hmm. It's the third time it was ever used in UFC, so apparently it's very, very rare. It didn't look like, it was just weird. The mechanics didn't look like it was that brutal, but the guy tapped out instantly. So my question, how rare is that in MMA, not just in UFC? And then what are the mechanics behind the Twister maneuver that make them so brutal?
Well, I think the Korean Zombie did it. And I think it was Bryce Mitchell. Fact check me if you want. But so the Twister, so basically your head is cranked like this in a person's chest and they're pulling you in. So it's a neck crank. And then they have a scissors around your, I can't do it because I'm not standing up, but around your leg. So basically picture your neck crank like this, and then your bottom torso curving in. So they're cranking you this way, and your bottom half is cranking that way also. So essentially they call it a twister because you're twisting like this, but your body is like a bow and arrow being bent. So it looks semi-crucial, but your body's in excruciating pain. So not only is your bottom torso being separated, your neck is getting cranked in here, and it's hard for you to breathe, and your neck's not supposed to bend like that. So it's hard to do because you're not going to get somebody in that position. For you to get put in that position, you got to be caught way off guard or just have no wrestling training at all for that to happen. It's basically it's like getting knocked out from a jab in boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very rare. But yeah, that's a Twister. Take that, people. I know my stuff. You don't believe
there you have it, all you haters. I went back and found, because I saw it the other day, and that was my question. I was like, that didn't look like it hurt that much, but dude instantly tapped right away. And I wanted to show all you haters that Clubber D knows his shit better than all y'all mother suckers. That being said, we love all y'all mother suckers, and we thank you all for joining us today on another episode of Ball and Buds. We usually do not, we do this on UFC pay-per-view fight nights, and we will continue to. But since we've added in boxing and other MMA topics, we're thinking about changing the name. We're workshopping some things. Clubber D and
email us. This is what I want. Everyone listen out there. If it's 2 people to 25, email us a name you think of. Okay. And we will say what we will read off the top 5, top 10, or even top 2 names, okay? And we'll let you know who said it, and we'll give them all the credit, okay?
I love that idea. There you go, y'all. So hit up our inbox at ballandbuds@gmail.com, or if you still have the old one, at mvp.com, or sorry, mvpsmb.com. But ballandbuds@gmail is easier. That being said, hit us up. Give us some suggestions for what we should name this show. We are live on Facebook at The Bottom Line Sports, so go ahead and please join The Bottom Line Sports group. It is an awesome group that we have a lot of fun in. And shout out to my boys at the Bottom Line. We will be going live Sundays at 7. Shout out Flo, Can, Hot Take Jake. Also, shout out to everybody on YouTube, Let's Talk Sports channel, the Bottom Line, and Ball and Bud Sports. We are on all 3 YouTube channels. We're also on Twitter. And thank you to everyone at Let's Talk Sports Twitch channel. They're watching us on Twitch right now. All the gamers are watching us, Clubber D, for the first time.
I got a PS5. Y'all holla at me, yo. If y'all want to see Clubber D play video games, email us, okay? And you can hear me uncensored. I'll get on Twitch. I'll do all that. And let me jump on that, Omar. Shout out to Flo, Canteen, Hot Take Jake. You guys are phenomenal over there. Bottom Line. One person I haven't mentioned in a while is my arch nemesis. Shout out to Mike Weeby. That's my guy right there. I know the Orioles are killing it, so I know Weeby is hella happy right now. So shout out to Weeby. That's my guy right there.
Shout out to the Redhead Potato Bread, who is so happy for the Orioles right now and how they're doing. Shout out to them. They look really, really good. That being said, y'all, the next time you will see Clubber D and I, and maybe even the Weebster, maybe we'll bring on Mike Weeby with us one of these times. I know we want to bring on. I know I've been talking to Francis about coming on with us one of these times. That would be fucking amazing. Shout out to the Kamikaze Kid, aka Paradise, aka
that's right. Might do a happy hour with his lady friend.
There you go. So again, next time you will see us, y'all, is for UFC 293. That is Saturday, September the 10th, excuse me. Saturday, September the 10th. What do you think about this fight? Israel Adesanya is back for Sean Strickland, my friend, in Australia. We're going to Australia. Well, you're going to Australia. I'll be in Puerto Rico.
I might be down there. Last time I was down there, I got into it with someone's Joey and I had to knock a kangaroo out. You know what I'm saying? And it was one of those things. That little thing jumped up on me. I had, get up off me, man. What you doing, man? Ain't that type of party. But yeah, I might go down there, get some Fosters, do all that stuff. Hang out with some of the Aborigines and ride some waves. Last time I was down there, I had fought a great white shark. It was in the water, and it came up on me. I had to punch it real quick. So, but it's that's another story for another day. You know what I'm saying?
And shout out to to Flo, who actually knows my idea. It's in my head somehow. They want pause. Wow, they want a permanent weekly boxing, MMA, combat sports show from Ball and Bud. So we'll have to think about putting that together.
It can happen. Talk to my publicist.
We'll talk to Clubber D's publicist. But anyways, next time you'll see us again, UFC 293, September 9th, 2023. That's at a regular time. It's in Australia, but we're going at the regular time, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. You'll see me in Puerto Rico because I'm going back to see the family. So the next time you'll see me is from the Courtyard Marriott in Isla Verde, Puerto Rico. Wepa.
That's right. Let's go. Get some Rose Condules. What's up?
I know. Keep going. No, I said keep going.
Yeah. You can get some tostones, some arroz con dulces. You know what I'm saying? He's getting the salzone and everything. Some nice sprinkled Goya and all that good stuff. Not that sodium-free Goya. We want the red type Goya. You know what I'm saying? What else are we gonna be eating down there?
Some lechon, some tostones.
There we go.
Some pork,
some plátanos.
Some plátanos, some roadside. They got them roadside stands. Them things are
go to the Sheraton over there in Caguas. You know what I'm saying? Get the salsa dancing classes on Thursdays and Fridays.
Hit the casino where my grandma goes. Oh,
there you go. Hey, you know what I'm saying? It's funny when I was down there. The chips got Miguel Cotto because he's from there, so his face is on all the chips there at the casino. You know what I'm saying? I was down there with a future ex-wife, but it's all good. Puerto Rico. Let's go.
Wow. Miguel Cotto shout out. I like it. Let's go. Empanadilla. Let's go. Boricua.
Shout out to Don Omar. Rest in peace, Hector Lavoe. Let's go.
Hector Lavoe, shout out as well to my boy Louis Stacks up in Boston where they're holding UFC tonight. Shout out to my Boricua Louis Stacks. Go ahead and check him out on all of your Spotify networks. He's blowing up like Bad Bunny. That being said, take us out, Clubber D. We got 20 seconds left.
Oh, we got 20 seconds left. It's my man, Clubber D, always in a place to be. I am the Combat G. If you've been with us from the beginning to the end, you are always our friend. I'm making this up as I go. Shout out to my man, Flo. That freestyle was $5, but I'm not going to charge you this time, okay? We had fun today, And you never know. I might be in Puerto Rico too, in spirit. Thanks for tuning in.
I think. Do you have his wolf sound? Do you have his intro?
Right.
I thought you had some new intro music for him.
Well, I mean, I have the wolf sound, but it's like 4 different. Here, I'll get it for him. Just for Clever D. Just for Clever D.
Okay.
No, that's not the right one.
Wow, that sounded like a wounded wolf, Clever D.
Yeah,
Look at Clever D's face. Look at Clever D's face.
I'm just kidding, Clever D. I'm trying to find the right one for you.
There we go. That's a manly wolf right there.
Somebody's here.
You could not live with your own failure.
Okay.
Let me say no.
Little Thanos.
I didn't know it would go out.
Where did that bring you?
You know who's here.
Back to me.
And now your favorite combat guy. I gotta wait for it to change. He's the one, the only. Lobo.
When I'm right, I'm right. When I'm wrong, I'm right. That's why you do the club's caveat. What's up, Flo? What's up, Omar? What's up, Canteen? How y'all feeling today?
What up, bro? We good, man.
That's what I'm talking about, my brother.
Baby. Yeah, what's going on, Clever D?
I love the rock music intro with the wolf. That is hilarious.
I got hyped up. I was about to rip the jersey off. I was about to, bring it back. Ooh, there we go.
Why he give you that wimpy wolf at first though, son?
That was just a baby wolf, okay? That wasn't a white fang. That was white small tooth. That was white molar right there. That wasn't white fang. That wasn't a fully grown wolf. Okay?
That was the beta wolf. He was shooing away. He was shooing that beta wolf away for the real wolf to show up.
So true. That wolf was in the blasphemy bunker. That is one of those pets hanging outside the bunker. Listen to those hot takes all the time. That's what it is. That's what that wolf was doing, okay? Because it's all the Niners win and Trey Lance was good against the Broncos. That's what that wolf was doing. My bad.
Is that a Jake wolf?
That's a Jake wolf right there.
That's a Jake wolf.
That's a Jake
wolf. A baby wolf.
Clever D, man. Welcome to the show, man. Good to have you, man. So, since our UFC fight expert is here, at least for our show, for sure, but the expert, all-around expert, never wrong, always right. Even if he's wrong, he's right.
Right.
Get over it.
Right.
All right. So
and actually, with his new clever caveat, he is always right, baby.
Yeah, he is always right. Exactly. Hey. All right. So UFC's 292, man. Give us some insights. Hey, let's start with the prelims. Something you liked in the prelims, and then we'll get into the main event. Is there anything you liked in the prelims that you saw from any of the fights or the fighters?
Well, the main prelim, like I mentioned on the show yesterday, I was really focused on Chris Weidman and his comeback from that horrific leg break.
Right.
And after seeing Brad Tavares kick every single muscle fiber out of his left leg and then start on his right leg, the injured one, Dana White said it today. He needs to retire, but he still wants to fight. And I said it yesterday. I'm gonna abbreviate what I'm saying today, but get your old ass down, okay? You're 39 years old. You had a great career. It's enough. Enough's enough. You have a beautiful family. Sit down, watch it like us, or be a coach.
Right.
I still don't say people get hurt like that.
Right. Yeah. All right. So, what about the main events? We'll get to the main card, the championship fight. But what did you think of Vera and Munoz?
Well, it's kind of like what I thought it'd be. Vera is a dog. Okay, he's the one. He gave Sean O'Malley, the champ, his only loss, and that was tearing up his ankle. And he wants that rematch in December. But Vera did what Vera does all the time. If you fight him, you got to bring your lunch, your breakfast, your dinner, your dessert, brunch, anything in between. If you fight that man, he will go at you. All of it. I'm telling you, he is a dog.
And bring a toothpick for after. All right.
Just a little bristle right there. Get
it out. All right. So what about Magny and Gary?
So Gary, like I mentioned yesterday, he's one of the ones people need to watch out for. He's from Ireland. They love these Irish guys. He's brash. He talks a lot of junk. It reminds me of when
he was a heavy favorite.
He undefeated.
Oh yeah. He's 6-0 now.
Yeah, he's undefeated too, Clever D.
When I tell you leg kicks, when Neil Magny went down in the first round and started scooting on his butt like he was boot scooting, trying to take him down to wrestle, he was no part of that. Like I felt the pain in East Catholic. Okay, I felt it in my bone, and I was sitting at home watching. I was going to go to Boston that weekend, but they're doing it like they did to Conor when Conor had his own fight against Dennis Seaver to promote him in Boston. The Irish fans, get that connection going. So gotta watch out for him. Ian Gary at 170. This kid's the truth. He's something.
He was hurting him with the leg kicks or what?
Oh yeah, he's a boxer, but the leg kicks were just too crucial. That's what it sounded. I heard that in the cage. Joe Rogan was like, "What was that?"
Yeah. All right. So now let's talk about the main event.
Oh, yeah.
How surprised were you, or were you not surprised? It seemed like Sterling was a pretty heavy favorite. I mean, O'Malley, of course, had a puncher's chance. I mean, but it seemed like the consensus was Sterling was going to win this fight, and but it didn't turn out so much that way.
I mean,
what was your thoughts about this fight? Any surprises, and then anything that kind of went the way you thought?
Well, my first initial take was that Sterling, he's a better wrestler. He's going to get inside, take him down.
Yeah.
And then I said the Clubber D caveat yesterday, second round knockout, O'Malley, that can happen. And sure as you know what, O'Malley knocked him out in the second round. Aljamain did not get in close. He tried to take down late in the round in the first round. He tried to beat up his legs. It wasn't working. And kind of like when he fought Peter Yan, Aljamain does not like getting hit. So I knew if O'Malley, if he couldn't take him down for his strength, O'Malley's going to win that. It's one of those things. And I think Aljamain, he shouldn't worry about a rematch. Just go up to 145 if he's going to move up,
Oh, wow. Really?
Yeah, I would leave that division because no one's defending the belt more than 3 times in his whole existence.
Right. So
it's always a quick crossover with next champion. So
and it maybe it's just me, but it always seems like when there's a heavy favorite, there's some kind of knockout, something crazy happens, and the other guy gets upset. It just always seems to happen in the UFC to me. I mean, whenever I look at these and I'm looking at favorites, I'm like, man, they're a heavy favorite. This guy's got a puncher's chance, and then all of a sudden you just see something crazy, and then the guy gets knocked upside the head. And
that's the beauty of mixed martial arts, because they're small 8-ounce gloves, and before Shadow O'Malley, they want to push him. They've been wanting to push him because he's very charismatic and his colorful hair and stuff.
Right. He had it in braids though.
Oh yeah, he'll do the braids, do the perm. I used to rock that back in the day when I had an afro, but that's another story. But he's already talking about he would knock out Gervonta Davis. I'm like, what? Gervonta Davis? Dude, sit down somewhere. He will knock each tattoo off your body. And now Ryan Garcia's jumped in the mix and is like, I'll fight him. I'm like,
you got a guest coming.
Uh-oh.
Can I ask a follow-up real quick?
Well, let's hold on.
Oh, I hear that music.
Guess who's here? The one, the only, Jake Montoya.
How are you late from your own house?
Yeah, that's a family man right there.
There you go.
How are you late from your own bedroom, son? I don't understand that.
How dare y'all? I heard y'all for 30 minutes.
Would you just roll out of bed? You tried to jump on the camera?
No, man. Got a championship.
I'm trying to get the right configuration here. All right, go ahead. What were you saying?
I want to hear Clubber D. He's the only one that speaks my knowledge. Go ahead, Clubber D.
I like Jay. That's my guy right there.
Okay.
You know what?
Hey,
think about the fight. Anyway,
I told you about that dog. Hey,
did you see the fight, Jake? What do you think about the O'Malley and Sterling?
It was a great fight. I love the knockout. That's what happens, man.
Were you predicting that?
I couldn't predict that one. Usually I'm.
Yeah. Hey, at least you're being honest, huh?
no.
What do you think? You got anything about the UFC, Omar? Any tidbits?
He's gonna ask the follow-up question.
Oh, go ahead.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. My expert is Clubber D here, so I'm not even going to take any shine from him. What I'm trying to do is ask him a question just to give some more knowledge for our fans. So, Clubber D, can you explain for our fans here at the bottom line what is the difference between boxing and MMA when it comes to inside an actual boxing ring, and why he would stand no chance? Can you talk about the mechanics?
Boxing versus MMA stand-up is like rugby versus tackle football in the NFL. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's physical, yes. They're both physical. That's two separate worlds, you know.
Right. That's
footwork, stance. MMA, you're worried about getting taken down. You don't really cut the cage off like you would cut the ring off.
Right.
Keep your head on the center line like in boxing. You can't jab the same way in MMA. Like
footwork is different.
Boxing. Oh yeah, it's night and day, and only a few boxers I think have a chance to. I'm sorry, MMA fighters can cross over, and that'd be. Heavyweights do because of the power factor,
right.
But Anderson Silva was an average boxer that was a great MMA fighter. So
yeah, I feel like the MMA fighters, they just don't have enough stand-up knowledge. They have enough for MMA, for UFC fights, but I mean, against a boxer who's trained to move and give you angles and fade and do all these different things, it's hard for an MMA guy to emulate that if he's only doing it part-time, you know, basically.
That's 100% true. Only thing that was semi-close was Triller, or wherever that low budget company was. They did like this hybrid boxers versus MMA fighters. They were trying to put on Shannon Briggs against Rampage Jackson, but the gloves weren't like full boxing gloves. You can still like grapple with somebody. So they had like Mike Perry fighting there, and Frank Mir, he fought a heavyweight. But I mean, it's just not. It's two different things.
Right.
I watch it though. Conor McGregor, people are like, oh yeah, Conor rocked with Mayweather to 10 rounds. Mayweather allowed him to be in that fight for 10 rounds. He had no chance. He allowed him, you know.
Exactly.
So you never know. You got Evander Holyfield getting knocked out by Fedor Belfort, but Evander Holyfield, you know, he's 182 years old, so he shouldn't have been fighting anyways. You know, so it's ridiculous.
He's not quite. I thought he was 180, not 182.
Hey, look. Hey, I think he when he had hair, he borrowed Frederick Douglass's comb, so he's kind of old. You know, he's up there. Okay, he's up there.
Hey, I got the rim shot for you now. You be tossing them out, man. I'm just like, man.
Yeah, promo king over here.
Hey, so Jake had a follow up for you. What do you got, Jake?
Yeah. I was gonna ask him, with O'Malley beating, was it Sterling? Yeah, Sterling.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who's left? Who's left in the bantamweight that he can really face? I mean, he's kind of taken control of that division, hasn't he?
Only one he can fight that would say would be kind of worth some money is at the rematch, or if he fights Vera. Vera gave him his only loss, but that was kind of due to an injury, and he called him out right after the fight saying, I want to fight you in December. Other than that, there's no. If I was him, I'll just run through the division, put myself in UFC Hall of Fame. Because if you defend that title more than 3 times, no one else has done that. So he can do that and kind of be like, all right, let me just move up to 145. Or that's why he's calling out boxers, because he's trying to make money. And that's just a good question, because there's not really much he can go to after this. You know what I mean?
Right. That's what I was trying to figure out on him.
Yeah. All right. Any follow-ups for Clubber D, the Combat G? Hey. Dropping knowledge, even though he didn't go to college. Just kidding. I don't know if he went to college. It just rhymed in it.
I was about to say, how would you know? How would you know if he went or not? Like,
that was a bar.
I don't know. It just rhymed and it sounded good at the time. So
I got my degrees right behind me. It's that black brick right above me. Y'all just can't see it.
That's I can't see it. Okay, now I see it.
Yeah, there we go.
All right.
And actually, just for extra information. There's a guy named out there, Merab. Is that his name? That is a possible contender, Dion?
Merab, yeah, he'd probably need another fight or two, because what they want to do with O'Malley, they want to put him against people that have a kind of a name, right? You know, so Merab would be a good fight, but I don't think they're going to do that, because that's basically he trains with whatchamacallit, Aljamain Sterling. That's his training partner, but they said they would never fight. Right. So that's a fight that can happen, but Merab is hurt right now. But,
so who's probably the next for O'Malley? If you have to off your head.
If it's not Aljamain, it's going to be Vera.
Okay,
I don't think Vera. Yeah, I think he.
Okay, Vera. Okay.
Yep. I mean, it'll have to be one or
Right.
two, I would assume. Yeah.
Hey, let us know what you think about the fight. Give us some comments. Let us know if you have questions for Clubber D. Let us know, and I'll kind of pop it in there and ask him later. So
Ending, Flo. What a great ending.
Awesome ending. Hey, you guys want to hang? We can talk for a few minutes if you got time. We're going to talk a little bit behind the scenes if you want to talk. And watch this outro. I got everybody in the outro now. I put in Ball and Buds in there and everything in the outro. So it should be good.
Hey, Flo, before we go, can you tell them where to go subscribe to everywhere? Can we tell them where
you
to
guys
subscribe?
put out your pages out there. Clubber D, you got anything, any Twitter or anything where they can reach you?
No, I'm talking about the bottom line. We don't got nothing. We ain't got nothing.
Oh, okay, you don't got nothing? I'm just making sure, man.
Nah, we're good.
I don't know.
Promote the
I'll put my MySpace
you know what?
page. I'll get my MySpace page up.
Yeah, if you want to find Clubber D and I, you find us at Ball and Buds.
Ball and
really,
Buds,
what we
there
want
you
to
go.
say, y'all, is go subscribe to the Bottom Line. Join us on Facebook. We have a great time. Flo does a masterful job of posting news and stories that we can comment to all day. Also, go join the Bottom Line on YouTube. They're both at the same place at the Bottom Line Sports. Very easy to find. Cool. We out. We love you. Thank y'all, fans.
Hey, watch this outro. Y'all stay behind and we'll talk a little bit after.
Check out Ball and Buzz on IG, okay?
Ball and Buzz IG.
Ball and Buzz on
Clubber
IG.
D, the Combat G. Thank you for joining us once again. Hey, that's forever your intro song.
Appreciate y'all.
And hey, we're gonna play this outro. You guys watch it. It should be pretty good. And there's shout out to my wife. She gave me a heart. I love you.
Thanks for pumping up Trey Lance, Jake. I love that last night. Good job, guys. Good job,
shout out, Miss Patricia.
Good job.
Shout out to Miss Flores.
If you don't stop, we won't even find.
Hey, Jay, we're gonna update the poster this week, bro. We updating the poster
Hey,
this week.
Yeah,
don't update that. Just buy me one and send it to me and leave Jake on.
Yeah,
we appreciate you, man.
Let me know how buy you one.
Hey, y'all go subscribe, do all that good stuff. Make some comments. Hey, if y'all comment after the repeat, I'll always go back and check, man. We appreciate everybody. Hey, we're gonna start this outro. Y'all check it out and y'all hang out. We'll talk in a minute, all right? All right, man. All right, let's go.
Broncos on the way.
I hope I see Chuck E. Cheese and Jake together.
Stop it.
Just stop.
Yo, man, please.
Holla.